developments today in Venezuela. Um, the other big story today is the abdication of Emperor Akihito in Japan. Within the next few hours, Crown Prince Naruhito will formally become the new emperor. This is an unusual event, the first in 200 years apparently. And as with the British throne, usually when one monarch passes to another, it's in a time of sadness, but not on this occasion. So I'm going to be looking at that development as well in the next few hours. But just to focus on Venezuela for now, big developments today. Um, there has been yet more unrest. There have been unsubstantiated rumors that Maduro was supposedly thinking about fleeing the country, and Russia has convinced him not to. Guaido has called for a full-scale uprising now. It's a very tense situation. But I think it is very, very clear that the Venezuelan people have had enough of Maduro. Um, you just have to look at the international situation, see which countries are backing Maduro. I mean, Russia, China, Cuba. These are the sort of countries that are backing the Maduro regime. Now, are they really interested in the Venezuelan people? Of course not. They have trade links with the Maduro regime, and none of these countries can be called progressive in any sense of the word on human rights, on freedom of the media, on anything else. Now, what we're going to see with this, and in fact it's already going on, is the usual crowd, left wing apologists, because they're selective when it comes to left wing tyrants like Maduro, churning out conspiracy theories. And the main one going around at the moment is, oh, it's a CIA coup. Some people have made analogies with the situation in Chile in 1973, Salvador Allende. Well, Salvador Allende was, I think it's a very problematic equivalency. Salvador Allende was not a tyrant in the way that Maduro is. And yeah, that was one of America's less honorable moments, without question. And it's a good example of the murky history of the CIA. But put it this way, if this situation is some big CIA coup, then all I can say is millions of Venezuelans must be paid actors. It's a coup that is backed by the majority of Venezuelans. People who are fed up with this humanitarian crisis, because that's what it is, with soaring crime rates, soaring homicide rates. Venezuela ties with El Salvador for having the world's highest homicide rates. This has all happened on the watch of Hugo Chavez and Maduro, and both men have been absolute demagogues. Any problem in their country, of course, Chavez passed away a few years ago. Any problem in his country, Maduro just blames on American imperialism. This is a typical tactic of left wing demagogues. Um, and it shows a lack of responsibility, but it shows a failure to live up to responsibility that it is on his watch that this mess has happened. I mean, I'm not for a second underestimating the power of the CIA, but even, okay, let me play the devil's advocate for a second and say the CIA was engineering some sort of coup. None of that would change the fact that Maduro has been an appalling leader. On his watch, there has been an absolute crushing of dissenting views. Press freedom has been massively curtailed, been a humanitarian crisis. you know, Even if you buy into the theory there's some sort of CIA sponsored coup, um, none of that changes the fact there is a crisis going on in Venezuela that is directly the result of Maduro's policies. And the thing is, the regressive left have blinkers on when it comes to left wing dictators like Maduro, like Fidel Castro. But if Guaido succeeds, and I think he is absolutely in a good position to be the president. As Speaker of the Parliament, I think he is in a very valid position. If he succeeds, which I hope he does, then it will be a blow to Russian propaganda. because this has become kind of a battleground of ideas. On one hand is human rights, liberty, and freedom. On the other hand is Russian and Chinese propaganda and conspiracy theories, because ultimately that's what it is. So I'll be watching this situation closely, but I've seen left wingers condemn right wing dictators, and that's fine. And yes, there's American hypocrisy. Trump only today done a deal with Sisi, who's just as bad as Maduro. I mean, Sisi is another Mubarak. So yeah, there's plenty of hypocrisies on the West. None of that changes the fact that Maduro is an appalling leader and he needs to go. If you can't see that, you're just not paying attention. The Venezuelan people have made their choice clear.